Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So, y'all, I found out that the infamous oblock that's in Chicago has been sold. Okay. And wait for it. Demolition for it is going to be starting in 2023. So I did a video yesterday actually, and it was talking about the purge law that's going to be effective in January 1st, 2023, and it's in Illinois. Essentially, if you commit X crimes, you got a little 3-step process or whatever, and if the judge says you're not a danger to the public or whatever, they could let you out. Amongst other things, go check that video out. Okay. And of those non-detainable crimes that they refer to, robbery, arson, burglary, aggravated assault, aggravated DUI, threatening, whatever to a public official, it was a list of them. Okay. So I bring this up because the old block has been sold. Okay. So demolition is going to be taking place in 2023. Okay. So one of my biggest things are this. Where are these people from old block going? Okay. That's what I want to know. Because if you tear down their hood, their whatever, their community, where does that leave the people? Okay. So where are they going to go? They either gonna go up, they're gonna go down, okay? And I'll tell you right now, Northern Illinois, some of the prices are a little steep. So if you can't afford it, they're gonna go south where it's not as steep, okay? So I do have, for those that are wondering, what the heck is old block anyways? What are you even talking about, right? So I have a little bit about it. It says Chicago's Parkway Gardens, also known locally as Old Block, is a housing project that was built in the 1950s and originally operated by African-American civic leaders and professionals. At the time of the construction, local leaders were optimistic that the 13-acre complex would fill the need for quality, affordable housing during an era when discriminatory practices like redlining were both overt and practiced throughout the city. Okay, so that's what it had, a positive meaning behind it at first, but obviously with violence, gangs, etc., it brought that down. Skipping ahead a little bit, Parkway Gardens was once home to First Lady Michelle Obama, but remains best known for its crime and median household income of only $14,454 compared to U.S. median and household income of $54,149. Okay, so we're looking at almost $40,000 less. That is insane. Okay, because nobody wants to live in an area where there's shootings almost every day, there's deaths almost every day, there's incidental shootings as well. Okay, so a lot of these, Ray Rays and Pookies, they do the whole close my eye, just randomly shoot kind of stuff, and then they hit everybody but their target 9 times out of 10. Okay, most times they don't even hit their target. They destroy other people's homes and their property. Nobody wants to live there, so that's also why it was so affordable for people, for this company to go and buy this area, because they're like, well, everything's already down. You know what? I'm gonna build some shopping centers. I'm gonna build some homes over here. People are gonna want to eventually live here. Okay, we're gonna bring those property values up, because once you have all that crime, that gang activity, all of that, all it does is make it a miserable place to be, because no one's going to feel safe. Nobody wants to go there. No, your businesses are not going to be booming. They're not going to be striving because nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to get shot, and that's just the problem of it. There you have a lot of people who are mad over this though, because they're like, oh, but that's my hood. I had people who died on my hood, in my hood. You don't own it. You don't own it. It's a Section 8 property. I mean, it's a Section 8 houses. You pay $30 a month for rent. You don't own this. You're dying over a piece of land that ain't even yours. You don't own it. This isn't a house that you bought. No one wants to be over there, and you're dying over nothing. That's really what that is, and that's what's so upsetting, is because you're losing your life for what reason? for your pride of an area that you don't own. And that's also why home ownership is very important. You can't just be out here, doing whatever, and then now you get mad that something that your place has been sold. This whole property, Section 8 housing, has been sold. Oh yeah, we're gonna destroy it. Okay, what you gonna do about it? I mean, what are you gonna do? Because they're gonna make sure y'all get out, because you have brought the property values down and you have made it pretty much unlivable, and nobody wants to visit it. I mean, that I get it, and I'm like 100% for it. Clean up the area, clean up shop. If you can afford it, and then you can do that. And people say, oh my goodness, Alex, but these people have been victims of redlining, etc. And this was the only affordable and you got affordable housing, and granted, I understand that you may not get all the government funding that you should in certain areas. I get that. Okay. But you also, no one told you to join a gang. No one told you to shoot up homes. No one told you to shoot up people every single day over there. No one told you to do that. You ended up doing that. This is the reality of what it's going to be. People don't want to have crime constantly. And if they know that, hey, I can make money and y'all just gonna have to move, I mean, that's just what it's going to have to be. And I'm sure they're going to bring those prices up to make up for all of those years that nothing was able to be profitable over here. So I mean, I get it. So someone actually put up a post, and it was from the Daily Loud. They're talking about it, and they're like, oh my goodness, they're going to be relocated. It's going to be demolished in 2023. Pretty much how y'all feel about this, right? So someone actually put on here, it said, people celebrating gentrification, no resources pumped on into oblock. People lost lives there, property plummets, and someone buys it so that they could put a shopping center there and kick the residents out the city. So here's the thing. They make it seem like oblock, this Parkway Gardens, they make it seem like this place was like a utopia and black people were just thriving there. Like it was like Black Wall Street or something, or even a step under Black Wall Street. Like, oh my goodness. No, there's been crime, constant crime. People are dying, gang members. I remember I talked to somebody who was actually from Chicago and whatnot, and they were saying like, yo, yeah, certain areas on my hood, certain areas you can't even go out at certain times because gang members are going to be there. Yeah, gang members have stepped up to me, and they, oh, what you doing walking on this sidewalk? Are you kidding me? You're okay with people being threatened to get home? People being threatened just to get out of their house and walk around? It's okay for people to feel scared constantly because of this is my block, when you don't own any of this. You don't own the sidewalk we're on, but because you took claim to it, now you can make rules about who comes over here and who doesn't. You could just feel free to shoot and kill people, torture people, just because. Nah. Okay, this is not a thriving area. Okay, it said the median household in the U.S. is 54,000. Over here, it's 14. That's extremely low. Okay, so no, man. I'm sorry. This is a bad area, and they're cleaning up shop. That's what's happening. So someone actually put up another tweet. It says, yeah, but nobody tells black people to sell dope or to shoot each other. It's a decision, just like me making a decision to never drink or smoke. It's a choice, and that is something I completely agree with. No, hey, well, the government, they don't want to put any money into the neighborhood. They don't want to help us out, So let me just go and destroy the area and threaten the people that live here and kill people, my own people, constantly that live in the neighborhood, and make them so terrified to even leave the house. And even if they don't leave the house and they stay in there, I'll just start shooting up their house, and they're innocent people that have nothing to do with anything. So that's fine? No, that's not fine. You make a decision. Do you want the neighborhood to be clean and be good? Have some kind of positive outlook on this? Like, this is my place, I cherish it. Or are you one of those people that's like, this is my place, I'm gonna destroy it? You're obviously one of those people that are like, this is my place, so I'm going to destroy it. So I don't understand why this is a problem. If they're cleaning up shop, I mean, you had how many years to make sure that you weren't destroying your neighborhood, yet you didn't care. So I don't understand. But yeah, so someone else said, it said, just shows how just shows how lost the whole culture really is. Killing / gang banging over territory they don't have real ownership of. And quite frankly, they have no ownership of anything but this vigorous image of being quote unquote hard. Unfortunately, everything you think you're in control of gets ripped out. Okay. And then someone else also said gentrification is better than housing gangs. And I completely agree with that, because at the end of the day, it's like, what are you really benefiting? I mean, what are you adding to your neighborhood? You love this area so much, that's what you say, but what are you actually adding to it? Low property values. People are terrified to leave out of their house. People are getting killed for no reason. I mean, what are you really doing? Now, what really bothers me, and this is what I mentioned earlier in the video, where are they going? I haven't seen any article talking about necessarily where they're going to put these people, whether they're going to put them in X kind of complex over here, whatever the case may be, because where I went to school, it wasn't that bad. The outside area off campus, it wasn't that bad really. But once I left, I started noticing more and more and more constantly. It was, people talking. It was constantly on the news. It was always shooting on X Street, shooting here, shooting here, shooting here. A lot of it had, it was certain streets that I even have walked by on, most days anyways. So you have constant shooting from people, and you have, stabbing and all of this craziness. And it constantly is looking like that, I even recently took a trip up there, right? I went up there. This place looked almost, and I get it, some people, probably the day and hour that we came, a lot of it kind of looked like a ghost town, like the people, their attitudes, some people it was just empty. The attitudes of a lot of these people, I went to this one place to get some food and they were just like, is that it? What you want? And it was just attitude, and it was just a negative feeling that you have. Your community is what you make of it, And if you're going to have negative energy in this community, what do you think is going to come of that? Everyone else is going to be negative. You're not, I mean, you claim you want support, but you don't even want to do anything to help your own community. You don't even want to do anything to help your own self. So I wonder, are you guys going to start bringing those Chicago, people that were on Section 8 or whatever? You're going to start bringing people from that area down south, possibly? I don't know, because they're not necessarily giving us a location to where they're going to be placing these people. So I do wonder, are you going to be bringing them over there? Because I will say, as more Chicago people started coming, things started getting a little worse. Okay. Which is something that has been happening. Same with Houston. They had a lot of people from Louisiana come, and it started getting worse until what we got today, but that's what I want to know. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? If you have any, leave them down in the comments down below. And until then.